Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to What's Up Wednesday 4/10/19 edition. We'll make sure we're coming through loud and clear over the World Wide Web. Get my screen set up here, how it's supposed to be. All right, there's old Keith Perkins. What's up? How was the ice cream yesterday? How'd you know I was at the ice cream store yesterday? So I assume we're coming in loud and clear. So it is, as a lot of good things in life, it all comes to an end. As I typically do with What's Up Wednesdays, we run them through the winter time or the winter months or when the weather's crappy, basically. And it appears in the great upstate New York that the weather is starting to change. The snow has melted, the ice is gone, the birds are singing. However, it did snow today, just briefly, but albeit snow. When the weather starts to change, I start to value my evenings a tad bit more than normal, and we'll need the time, and plus the activity that the kids are at normally on Wednesdays in the wintertime also comes to an end. So therefore, I go home to the fam jam and all of that. So yes, this will be the last What's Up Wednesday not for 2019, but until the fall, I guess, until after deer season. You guys know how it works. Priorities. Between the April blizzards, I couldn't believe it. Look outside today, and I'm like, I can't believe it's snowing. Just like, just want to go step in front of a truck. I'm so sick of the snow. I'm past it. It's over. It's gone. And then the funny part is I had all new eaves troughs put on the building today, or gutters, I guess they would be, seamless gutters. And I had it quoted out last year in the fall, and made a deal with the guy, settled on a price or whatever, and told him go ahead and do it. He's gonna do the whole building. And then we got just absolutely blasted with snow, and he still wanted to do it, but I called him. I was like, nah, just wait till spring, wait till nicer weather and stuff. And a couple of days ago it was like 67 inside the shop. Today it's snowing. Today's the day he showed up. It's snowing, wind blowing, rain. It's just a mess. But they got him done. They did a fantastic job. It was a guy, 3-man crew, seamless gutter place here, and did a great job, I think. So I gave him a bunch of work, kept him busy for the day. Did my barn at home and my cabin and the shop, and got all that stuff taken care of. So 80 down in Philly, huh? No kidding. 90 in Texas, man. Snow's the only good thing about New York. Yeah, sometimes you think that's true, Walter. But anyhow, so what's happening out there in the YouTube world? I guess we got a little bit of a mail call here, not much. Just eating my fig. A little bit of a late start on What's Up Wednesday. I met one of my friends here. He bought a 2019 Toyota Tundra, and I'd fluid filmed it and stuff. And he, where he lives, is way out in East Bum, out in the middle of nowhere, we'll call it. And pretty good probability of whacking deer. He whacked deer with his other Tundra he had. So we put a whole brush guard thing on it, and it took a while to find one that was compatible with the ADOS system, but we did. We found one and fitted it, and it worked well. It took a couple hours, about 2.5 hours. Lots of little brackets and stuff, and we wanted to put tow hooks back on it, so we did that, and it turned out really well. So that's why we got a late start. Anyways, what do we got here? East Bum, ding dum dum. Yeah, pretty much. It's something like that. Can I answer a question? I tried to, Keki, if I see him streaming across here, but I don't intentionally overlook anything here. Why does nobody use the car wash next door? Well, there's reasons. But I won't get into that. I'm friends with the owner, so we'll leave it at that. The latest on my Tundra. I don't really have any news on it. I got it fixed from where I had a little boo-boo. Got fixed at the body shop. They did an absolutely fantastic job on it. That's it. Other than that, she's been running good. Drove down to New York City, or not New York City, Tarrytown, so just north of New York City, I guess it would be, or north of Long Island, and went to TST training down there, and that was really fun. Of course, you guys know about that because Steve was here last time on What's Up Wednesday. Kevin wants to know about the Titan. I guess I'm not sure what Titan he's talking about. Any word on the Harbor Freight impact? No. Well, AVE, he got it. He sent me an email saying that he received it and will be, doing whatever he does with it, ripping it apart, seeing what kind of mess it's made out of the inside after a year or how it's holding up. I still have my other one here because I have two of those. Of course, I sent him the one that I, intentionally used for a whole year. This is the other one. I got this one December 2017 is when we got this one. I sent him the one that I'd gotten in November. So this one has had much less use. So I do look forward to that video. I'll be curious to know how it held up. In comparison to this one, it had a significant power loss. I shouldn't say significant, a noticeable difference rather. It still worked. It still worked fine. Still take off lug nuts, no problem. But, you grab this one who hasn't been used as much versus the other one using the same battery, keeping the same variable. And it was noticeably different. So I'll be curious to know what he finds, if he ever ends up doing a video on it. Hopefully he does. Because it was expensive. It was like 60 some bucks to ship that sucker to where he lives, which I can't disclose. Sworn secrecy. And then I got a Jasper dropped off an engine over there today. Over there by the old red compressor, there's a Chevy 327, baby. Big 5.3. Oh, you bought one of those panel removers, Smitty? Isn't that thing great with the adjustable hook? I've been using that sucker a lot. It's really hard not to use it for a pry bar though, so don't use it for a pry bar. It's a fantastic tool. Yes, you are right, Doc. My description is wrong. It is not the last one for the year. It is the last one till the fall. Yes, AVE does live in the Great White North. Yeah, I know what you mean, Smitty, man. That is a great tool. If you guys didn't see it, Smitty's talking about the panel remover that I got. I think it was last What's Up Wednesday, the one before that. I think SK makes it. Absolutely brilliant tool. I don't know how I got by without it. And I may Rebel. So Rebel 3353 says, do a What's Up Wednesday once a month. And I think I've been known to do that in the past where, let's say, it is a Wednesday and the weather is absolute garbage outside or ended up working late or something. I think in that case, I've done, some random live streams, but I hate to promise and say, we're going to do them, every Wednesday or whatever, but you know what I mean? Is that making sense to you? Might eat me an orange. I'm starving. Only had, my buddy was here, so we had a couple beers, a couple of Yinglings out of my private stock in the fridge, and then I haven't drank much water today or ate much. What's up with the W.U.W? So HD Joe 3, the W.U.W is sitting outside right now. I drove it quite a bit while I was waiting for my truck to get finished. And I just need to finish it. I've got a winch out here sitting out there for it. I got a front mount hitch for it. I got to get that on. We got the air lockers. What else? I got to get the slip yoke eliminator on it. I drilled the hardened shaft in the transfer case. I made a video on that of how I drilled it. I had to drill it with a masonry bit because the shaft was so freaking hard I couldn't get anything through it. So I drilled it out 5/16 with a masonry bit. But now I am in the dilemma of finding a tap that will tap it. And Chris from Astro Tools sent me a tap from his private collection that he thinks will tap it, or I'm going to have to kneel the end of the shaft, which would be a huge pain, which if I'm going to do that, I'm just buying a different transfer case. It's done, or get the shaft and just pull transfer case out. But that transfer case is not one I really want. but it was one I was willing to use. So we'll have to see. It's just been I just been too dang busy. I haven't touched it, haven't drove it. It's been sitting there for probably a month. So I just got to get not motivation, time. I just got to get time. What else we got? So it's always Rusty said I should take the Yingling Brewery in Pottsville, PA. I have not been close enough to it yet to take the tour, but if I ever get down that way, then I certainly will. I did budget tools. I actually sent AVE a message. We've been chatting back and forth, so I asked him about that, and he hasn't responded to it yet. But hopefully, he'll be able to tell me. I have looked up carbide taps, which are very expensive. I'm hesitant to spend $100 or $150 on a tap when essentially for just a little bit more, I could buy the entire input shaft. So I don't want to do that. Plus, I don't believe the carbide tap is going to be very forgiving to side load, using it by hand, a little bit of side load, now the thing's busted off in the output shaft. So that's that. What size Blazer? It is, gosh, wait, I think it's 5/16. Let me, wait, don't move. No, it was a 3/8. It was a 5/16 drill bit, but it's 3/8 16 tap. This is the one Chris sent me. He thinks that will go through it. So this is 3/8, 3/8 16 national course. So yeah, this is the one he let me borrow. So like I said, I haven't tried it yet. So we'll see. Hopefully, if not, I did skate a file across it. And it depends on where you hit it. In the middle of the hole, it's not as hard as, the outer part of the shaft now that I have a hole bored through it. So. Oh, somebody's out in the parking lot. Hopefully they don't look through the window. I need to explain why I have a Husky Mom cup. Somebody sent it to Mrs. O a while ago. And it just happened to be the cup I grabbed out of the place that we keep the cups in. It was this or the I Love You cup that Steve used last week. Those were the two on top. So Sheba scared me the other day. We went out for a walk, and I don't know if she was cramping up because we've been sitting around just getting fat since all winter or what. But so we went to this place that we like to go hiking, and you get it's 6 miles. It's 3 miles out, 3 miles back, and it's like 800 feet of elevation. So you climb about 800 feet, round trip. So we go out, and it's all wood. It's out in the middle of the woods, old fire trails, and we go out and walk. And she's running. Yeah, I let her run loose, and she's running around doing things, chasing squirrels and doing dog things, and sniffing and peeing on everything. And we go out and walk around. We go on a little hike and coming back. And of course, it's all descent all the way back for the last 3 miles. And we get just about 200 yards from my truck. And all of a sudden she starts getting down really close to the ground, like she's going to hunt something. But her legs are seized up, and she's tremoring like this, and looks like she's panicking, and her eyes get really dark. She starts drooling. And I'm like, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if she's having a seizure or what her deal was. So I just, held her, and it only took about a minute. And then, she kind of quit shaking, and her legs went back to normal. But she just kept high stepping, picking up her paws. There was something in her paw, which is what I thought. That's why I first noticed it. But then, then she started tremoring. But like I said, it only lasted about a minute, and then she's been fine ever since. So I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe it's just a muscle cramp, but if she does it again, I'll have to record it so I can show the vet, what had happened. But it was, it's kind of scary because she's only 5 years old, and Huskies don't inherently have medical problems that I'm aware of. But like I say, we've been just sitting inside eating donuts all winter pretty much. And she, was out going pretty hard because that was on Sunday, and she's outside running all day Saturday because we were out doing yard work. So I don't know. Yeah, she has access to water all the time, Chris, and she does drink a lot. So I'm not sure. No, it wasn't very hot out. It was only probably like 58. But of course, she'd been running. But we were there's a creek that we crossed. We crossed two creeks, and I always stop there, and she goes in the water and stuff like that. But see, what did I have? I had a blood test done on her. It was back because I got bit by a tick. It actually turned red. Got the bullseye and stuff. And she, I keep the collars on her, the tick. I can't remember what brand they are, Frontline or whatever. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I got bit by a tick, and so of course I get checked for Lyme disease and all that. Then I had to go on the that wicked strong antibiotics they give you to get rid of that. So I had a blood test done on her also at the same time, and her and I were actually on the same exact antibiotic because she came back positive for Lyme and all that stuff. And they test for quite a few things when they did that blood test. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it tests for like 10 different things in the dog. And so anyhow, I'll run it by the vet and let them know. But yeah, her eyes looked dilated, and then she started drooling a little bit, so I don't know. It was kind of scary. But I had a beagle named Copper, and he had seizures all the time. So, but he's a good rabbit dog. It's not a creek, it's a crick. Down the creek. Yeah, a crick, right? Oh, what's up with the Kia? So I still have to follow through with them more about the paint issue. And once I give them multiple chances, and then we'll take matters into our own hands. Yeah, ticks suck. As the first time, well, I've had deer ticks on me before, but usually not like they usually don't bite. You'll find one on your skin. You come back from a walk or something, or being out in the woods, you'll find a deer tick, and have to have them like crawl across your arm or something, and flick them off. But as the first time, this one was in my sock, and it was a tiny little sucker. It was only about the size of like the head of a pencil. It's one of the really, really tiny ones, and I didn't notice it until I was out of the shower. I always check myself for ticks, and I was drying off, and I felt something. It was like felt like a sliver in my skin, and I felt it snag the towel, and I was like, oh, what the heck's that? And I look at it closer, I'm like, oh, damn, it's a tick, so I pulled it out, and there's nothing you can do. So I pulled it out, but the next day it was about that big around and bright red and a white ring, and it's like, crap. So yeah. So yeah, the ticks this time of year are really bad. It seems to be like that first part of spring, leaves are all wet and so packed on the ground, and that's just like breeding ground for ticks. So yeah, and then we get the dogs, usually, because this is the time of year we buy collars for them, they usually get dog ticks on them. So they look like a watermelon seed. When they bite into you, they just have like a little gray butt that sticks out. It's almost the same shape as like a watermelon seed. And then those you just pull out. Yeah, I always make sure I get the whole tick out. It comes out with a little head on it and his little fingers. But typically I'll use deep. So like deep woods off. Just spray like my pant legs and stuff. Don't usually have problems with it. Kids get ticks on them sometimes, but yep. Anyhow. Oh, TDM. That's right. I forgot over where you're at. It's like 5 a.m. or something. Why did I sell my Ridgeline? Because I wanted a Tundra. Yeah. Today's discussion is about ticks. Is that a tick? Don't make me say that's a tick on my chin. I get paranoid. Like, oh, you start talking about ticks, it's like talking about headlights. Next thing you know, you're like, yeah, I don't know. So Possums eat ticks, really? I should tell Sheba to quit killing possums then. She's a possum killing machine. Anyhow, what do we got here? Am I AFC? I am not. Yeah, I'm sorry, Baggins, if you're scratching now because we've been talking about head lice and ticks. I feel you, man. Chickens eat ticks. I need to get some chickens, but the problem is, like where I live, your chickens don't live because we got these stupid weasels, these minks, and foxes and coyotes and stuff. So if you have chickens, you can let them free range like during the day, but you better be locking them suckers in the barn at nighttime because they're going to die. Yep. Yes, Cody. So that would be my preference, is to put select track, 242 transfer case or whatever the number is, and then put the slip yoke eliminator on there. So like I say, if I don't end up being able to tap this shaft in the back of the WJ, then that's what I'll be doing. I'll just be 242 HD, select track, boom, done. Anyhow, do you guys want to do a little bit of mail call now that we're done talking about ticks? Or we can talk about anything, I guess. Oh yeah, so you're talking about some brake clean. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. SMA may have gotten a brake clean sponsor. Yeah, a real sponsor for the show, even though it's supposed to be organic and I wasn't supposed to tell you. I'm telling you. I'm getting a free case of brake clean. Not from Napper, because we all know Napper's not a sponsor, but from CRC. They saw my video. They recognized the fact that I now use the green can instead of wherever, and they want to know if I wanted a case of brake parts cleaner. I says, do I want a case of brake parts cleaner? Yes. That's a stupid question, lady. And I got to pick out the kind. So I got some green can, and I think it's 1 pound, 4 ounce can. So it's the big dog. It's the Pro Series, they call it. 50 state legal. That's what it says on the can. We'll see how it is. So yeah, they're gonna be sending a case of brake cleaner, which should last damn near a day, I'm figuring, if I play my cards right. Yep. They want to know if I wanted anything else, but I was like, nah, just some brake cleaner, really. I mean, what else is there? Send me whatever you want, but some brake cleaner would be fantastic. So they're going to supply me with a case of brake parts cleaner, sponsor of the show, and I think I'll use that. Yeah, 50 state legal. That's what I was wondering, PDX David. It says 50 state legal. I'm like, what is this? Spray water, And first get this. First they try to pedal off. They said they wanted to send me some brake cleaner, and she sent me some links to their website there where they show the brake cleaner. It was all this safety, like low VOC, non-flammable, and I'm like, no, lady, this stuff has to be able to burn. I was like, because we use it for some unconventional things, in which case it's required to be combustible. So anyhow, after that being said, I didn't think they'd want to be my sponsor anymore, but yep, so they're going to be sponsoring me. Oh, Rob's here from One Auto. No kidding. I didn't see it. It's got to be pretty late over there across the pond. What do we got? Why did I switch brake cleaners? Simply because I had signed up on the Napa Auto Care program again for a year, and essentially the more I buy through Napa, the better quarterly kickbacks I get. So and then you're paying the same price for this as I was the wherever. So that's why if I go through what I would consider copious amounts of it, it's more beneficial long term for me to buy it from Napa. So, and we signed up again on the Auto Care program again. So I'm still SMA Napa Auto Care Center, not a sponsor. It actually cost me money. Yep, you have to pay. No, there is no super chats at all, Ryan. It's not just your iPad. It's in general, because they were a pain in the hoo-ha. People expect and demand answers with the with the super chat. Well, they don't expect it. It's just sometimes I can't deliver, and I feel like I ripped somebody off, and I don't want to feel that way. So we'll get to some mail call. No letter with this one, but it comes from Eric Course. He's a longtime subscriber on the YouTube channel. Been seeing him around there forever. Sweet name, ERIC. Sent me a thing from Eric Course. And what he has sent is what looks like just a normal little SK ratchet. That one and this one. Little guys. But pay close attention because I almost overlooked it. These little suckers are 3/8 drive. How handy is that? That is super sweet because sometimes, you know, your 1/4-inch drive set stops at 15, but you got to get in like this crappy little spot and you need an 18 on there. Boom. You grab that. Look at that. Look at that jabroni. That is awesome. Fine tooth. So cool. So thanks for that, Eric. That is super sweet. I do not have any little mini 3/8 drive mini ratchets. That I've had in multiple situations where I've needed them and just have never bought any. So that is pretty cool. I appreciate that. Thank you. I also had some YouTubers stop in today. I call them YouTube the people, we'll call them. One guy was coming from Ohio, passing through, going up to see his Meemaw up in Ontario, I believe. He stopped in and said, "What's up?" and then was on his merry way. Then I had another guy from Vermont. I don't remember what part of Vermont, but he was kind enough to bring me a couple tubs of Jed's maple cotton candy. And then my children came home from school or came to the shop from school, and they found the tubs, and basically this is all I have left. There was 2 of them. I went in and looked. There's one empty in the garbage can, and then there's this one. So I'm assuming that my children found them. He also brought the boys some of what he claims to be the world's best rubber bait fishing lures for bass fishing. He'd gotten a tip from a DC officer about these, and he started using them, and I guess the fish love them. So I'm going to give them to my boys. This stuff is so amazing. If you guys have never had this, I suggest going online and just buying some. If you've never had maple sugar cotton candy. It's like crack. I don't even know how good crack is, but if it's this good, I can understand why it's addictive. Because I'll pretty much wipe out this before I go. Amazing. You know what we got here? We'll zip you down through the letters. Oh boy, this is a big one. This one comes from Christopher. He's down in PA, that's Pennsylvania. And he writes, I think that was, welcome back, viewers. I think that was the first thing that got me hooked to your channel. And also the fact that you include your family in some of them. It gives your episodes a special, personal touch. To continue, it's because of you I bought my first Altel analyzer. I figured if you have one, it must be a very useful tool. I've always been intimidated by the present complicated auto-diagnostic tools, even though I have been an electrician for over 40 years. I will say construction electrical systems. I do have a service mind, so it's natural for me to approach problems with the mind, but after watching your videos, I am now able to follow some of your techniques to fix these systems. Though I have a 2013 Subaru, I don't expect I'll be working on it too soon, but it's reassuring to know I can. For that, I'm very grateful. Let me encourage you to continue and keep including your family. It looks like you have a very special family, and I know a lot of families. And I know a lot, underlined, of families. Consider yourself a very lucky man. Keep your relationship extraordinary, and it will get even better. I'm sorry, I'm letting my marriage counseling come through. So he's either a counselor or he's gone to counseling. But he's an electrician. Maybe he's dual purpose. I do pray you will continue making videos, and I hope you get reimbursed for it. As a thanks offering, here is a relay tester. I found this to be quite helpful. If you already have one, give it to Keith or another good mechanic, or just keep it in your car as a spare for when you're on the road. Blessings, you and Vanessa, and keep making each other and your kids happy. Love always, Chris. And this is typed, but his signature, that's pretty slick. Thanks, Chris. And I haven't even dug this baby out yet. We'll look at this. It is a relay tester, so we'll see what that little guy is made out of. Man, a lot of folks up in here. 1,800 folks stopping by for the What's Up Wednesday. Where's my knife? We love you back, Jose. No homo. Here we go. Automotive relay tester. 4-pin, 5-pin. So let's see what we got to do. What's it say? So here it is. It looks like it takes a couple configurations, 3 different configurations of relays. You hook it up to your battery. Let's see. Light red LED if the relay tested is abnormal. If not, light green LED. Interesting. Just a no-go tester. So evidently, when you put your relay in, it turns on the control side, and apparently will check for resistance across the load side and then turn the LED on. So that could be a quick test for you. If unknown or the relay is destroyed. Light's green if it passes, so green is good, red is bad. That's all you need to know. Put it in, boom. Very interesting. I will have to try it out. I do not have one of these, Chris. I usually test them just with a standard test light. But this could be a quick and dirty. Yank it out, pop it in, see if the relay's turning on. Thank you. Stick that over here. Oh, let's see. What do we got going on? I want to make sure everything's good. So simple a caveman can do it. That's right, Eddie. Paul, the ugh. Green, good. Would I get a Chevy 2500, Ford 250 gas or diesel? If I was to buy either one of those, I'd probably buy a Chevrolet. And I'd definitely get a gas engine because I have no need for diesel personally. Yeah, I don't do diesels. Rarely. This stuff is so good. I can't stop. Okay. Stick that over there. Save a little bit of it. Stick that over there. Let's see. Oh. Then we have one here. This just came in an Amazon box with a little Amazon note. And I must say, I hope they changed the paper because it was running out. And he writes, Eric, your video on the Chevy Sonic thermostat housing helped me get my wife's car fixed. Consider this a token of my appreciation. Love always, Jacob. This is from Jacob. And what Jacob sent is a whole pack of gummy bears, gold bears. Wasn't there like a thing about gummy bears? I remember hearing it around. I don't remember what it was. But yes, I will eat these like it's my job. I got so many stinking candy. I got so much candy. So some of the candy I got for the British candy. Clearly, I'll never be able to eat all of that, and we still don't know who sent it. A fair majority of that has gone over to the Baptist church for their. They have like Easter egg hunt for the children over there, and then they put stuff like in little plastic eggs. So that's where quite a bit of that went. So now all the children out there getting their Easter eggs are going to have British candy in it. So hopefully they don't fall in love with it. They won't know where to get any more unless they take a little trip. Yeah, that's right, Mike. Yeah, they're all trying to give me diabetes. I'll take it. Plus, it's ice cream season. When is deer season? October 1st. Most important date besides your anniversary you'll ever remember. October 1st. First day of bow season. What's up from Canasteel, New York? Andrew Dennis. Hey, I know that fella. Watching from Canasteel. What else we got? Yeah, opening day is October 1st. Is like It's the day. Usually, it's terrible hunting because it's warm out. But it's the day. It's like the day we wait for, like all year, October 1st. You got to get out and hunt the first day. And like I say, I don't know if I've ever taken a deer on the first day of bow season ever. First day of rifle season all the time, but first day of bow season, negative. It's too stinking warm. But it's still just fantastic to be out, That's the main deal. What else we got? We got one more here. This whole bag smells like coffee. So this guy sent me an email before he sent the coffee. It says, "Thank you for all you do. Enjoy." This is a custom blend up in here. Home roasted, home ground. Hopefully there's no cyanide or anything in it. Because I do like my coffee as much as I like my candy. One of them's probably going to kill me. I don't know which. And this came from Dave. Not Dave the Vice guy, but a different Dave. He also sent a new flip open pocket knife. Because you can never have too many of these suckers, especially when you leave yours home on a nightstand. And then he sent this multi-purpose device. It has a beer bottle opener on it for drinking the good beers, as a safety lock, and then a kickstand, and I think it must ignite. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Does it lock? Oh yeah. You know it's coming. How do you unlock it? It's got a little kickstand. You just sit there. Soft touch handle, turbo blue it's called. Woo! That's fun. That's how you get them flying insects out of here. Turn off the heater. Wait right there. Yeah, when you get them dragonflies coming in here, you keep swarming you, them big bumblebees, that chase around with this, light the whole shop on fire. So that's fun. That'd be good for heat shrink or light brake cleaner on fire, one or the other. So thanks, Dave. Definitely be burning something with that, I'm sure. I love burning stuff. Anyhow, that's it for the mail call today, folks. Short mail call, unless Mrs. O didn't go get the mail. Hopefully there's not a pile of stuff at the post office. I think she got mail today. Yeah, fire. So we'll chit chat here for a little bit. I don't have much to say. Been pretty dang busy here at the shop getting stuff done. What do we do today? Oh, I got a Rapid Ranger out there right now, a 94. Yeah, the video looks kind of 94 Rapid Ranger, and a guy brought it in for a clunk. He's like, there's some kind of clunking noise. So I take it for a drive, and it's like clunking noise, like the transmission's gonna fall out type clunking noise, if you can imagine that sound. And the rubber harmonic balancer that goes on the drive shaft on those, of course, so old, the rubber just deteriorated. So you got this steel ring, this big, 6-inch, 7-inch round steel ring on the drive shaft, just kind of beating around on the yoke and making all the noise. And then I picked it up in the air, and the rear shock mounts were rotted off it. So the shock's just hanging against the sway bar, and then the exhaust mounts are broke off it. So the catalytic converter is sitting on the cross member. So you got the catalytic converter rattling on the cross member. You got this round ring on the drive shaft banging around, sounds like jingle bells, and then the rear shocks aren't even attached. So I'll be bringing that one in. I'll probably do a video on it because it's thing's a relic, and I did get some new rear shock mounts for it. The thing on the drive shaft, we'll just chop it off. You don't even need it, and the exhaust, will just weld new hanger on it. Let's see. Do we only do safety inspections up here? No, we do safety and emissions. So first 2 model years are exempt, and then 25 years and older are exempt, and they're safety only. Other than that, all light duty diesel, so 8,500 GVW and under, are going to get emissions tested with OBD2 emissions. So you're going to plug into it, make sure all the monitors set. Same thing with gas engines. So that's going to be like all your, cars, SUVs, and half-ton pickups. If it's a 3/4 ton, they're exempt, 8,500 pounds and higher. So, yep. Has the YouTuber stopped calling? No, I wish, but no. Where are we at here? Man, these are going by a little bit too quick. A little bit tired. My eyes are like. Are YouTubers allowed to call? And just gonna see. I'll get to that one. I don't know, Blazer. I don't know if it's going to be. So he wants to know if because 96 is a 25-year window. If I don't know, that's a good question. I don't know if all OBD2 compliance are going to be required to have safety emissions. Once we start hitting that threshold. That is a good question. I don't know. Do I allow YouTubers to call and make appointments? Yes, but I try to discourage them to make an appointment simply because there is a false misconception, or there is this. I don't know how to say this. There's this belief that I possess some kind of unhuman skill for fixing cars. But the fact is, I'm only human. I'm not the automotive Houdini or the automotive Moses, or however you want to look at it. And they want to bring me oftentimes extremely intermittent problems. Hey, my car did this one time. Can I drive 600 miles so you can, lay hands on it and say a chant and make it better? Fact is, I can't. I have to be able to, duplicate your concerns and all that. So there's those issues. The other problem is you may have a YouTuber who wants to drive 500,000 miles to come here and have you fix an oil leak, or a cam seal, or do a timing belt job or something like that. The problem is there can always be problems, unforeseen circumstances, and because they have traveled so far, they're typically, in most cases, not prepared for that. So let's say you bring it in and you're doing water pump timing belt, and something happens, whether it be it to me or something in my family, or the vehicle. And let's say we're doing a Toyota Sienna, and the upper mount won't come off, and we didn't anticipate it because it's a Southern car, and the bolts won't come out. One broke off. Now we've got to buy this upper mount and the 2 bolts to hold it on. It's kind of common on those. And let's say we do that, and it's already, whoa, sugar, that almost got me. Let's say we do that, and now it's on back order, and you can't get the parts for 3 or 4 days. Now what are they going to do? Now it's this big, just panic situation. So I just try to avoid it, to be honest with you. It's easier to deal and work with local customers because, they bring your car in and drop it off. We start doing a job like, oh, by the way, it needs, this rear wheel bearing and this and that. And, it's going to do brakes, but, one of your calipers is seized up. So, I'll order this stuff, come back in a couple of days, and we'll take care of it. When you've driven, 500,000 miles, that's difficult to do. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is oftentimes more of a pain in the neck than it's worth. So I try to avoid it. I guess it's the short answer. There's more to it than that, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, say there, go B&B. Yeah, that's what I should open a B&B. I don't know where the heck my little fish wire just went. That thing went zinging. And I was fiddling with it, and I'm kind of a fiddler, so I need to get another one. There. Yeah, so it is, I guess, if you can think about it logically how I am, hopefully you can see see my point of view on it. Yeah, it's not so much the hanging out in the shop all day, Wyatt, which sometimes I don't want to say it politely. I guess it depends on who it is, you know. If they're not like on your heels all day, it's not so bad. But honestly, there's nothing to do here. No, I can't have you help. As much as that sounds good, something happens. People are so sue crazy. I fear people even just walking through my parking lot, because that's just how stupid the world is that we live in nowadays. I don't even want them like, don't walk outside, like sit here in this chair and don't move, because I don't want to be sued. Part of our reasoning for going to, an LLC, is to isolate myself from lawsuits, because the majority of people nowadays are just so dumb that they just, I walked outside and you hurt my feelings. Now you're going to court. It's like, I don't know. You just got to kind of protect yourself. Cover your butt. CYA. Mima always said, cover your butt is what that means. And that's what you have to do. So it kind of sucks. What if the chair breaks? Well, Rabid Dog, I've already taken care of that situation. We have now new chairs instead of our old wooden chairs that we had, which were nice. We now have chairs that can handle up to a 450 pounder per chair, padded, nice, sturdy, all steel, good chairs. So I'm pretty confident with that. So yeah, it's unfortunate that you have to cover every single angle. So, yeah, that's that. That's everything in a nutshell. Probably way too much was just said, but yes, I do have liability insurance. I have garage owner's liability insurance. I have insurance on the building. I have insurance on contents. I have insurance. I have more freaking insurance than I know what to do with. So yeah, you have to cover yourself. But let's say I only have, $500,000 in liability insurance. That's nothing on today's lawsuits. You go outside and fall down and, hurt your feelings. That could be a $3 million lawsuit. You don't know. It's just, it just gets stupid. Like, people can get really stupid, and lawyers are really good at it. And our system is so messed up that these people get granted, insane amounts of money. So yeah. So what if I have $500,000 in coverage of liability? That doesn't mean crap. That's just, you have it because you're required to have it. But in the big picture, it don't mean nothing. Yeah. So yeah. So that's that. Yeah. Gosh, getting all zippy's that. Waivers. You can wipe your hoo-ha with a waiver. That's what it comes down to. It's kind of funny. So I lease some property to hunt on, and I like to be diligent and think I'm doing the best job I can, and to make sure that I'm covered, because everybody sues everybody for everything, for whatever reason, whatever it may be. We'll skip that. We'll just consider that a fact. It's a matter of fact. So once I lease this property, of course, I went to my insurance guy, and I have a friend who's a lawyer, and just, ask him, like, is there anything I should be aware of? Should I have like a renter, a guy who like rents an apartment? They get renter's insurance, it's their homeowner's insurance. So I asked my insurance guy and stuff, should I have leasee insurance, because I'm leasing the property, and it essentially makes me have say over the property. Like if there's a trespasser, you can have that person arrested or whatever. You have authority over it, I guess, per se, via our contract, even though it's a 365-day hunting lease. So the problem with that is, to get the insurance on it as a leasee, I can still be sued by a trespasser. And there are multiple cases in the New York State penal law case study where I am a leasee of the property. I lease it from the leaser, the owner, who pays the taxes on it. Joe Schmuck comes over. He's hunting deer. He's all liquored up. He jumps the line, goes past legally posted signs every 660 feet, state law in New York, double on the corners. He comes over, he trespasses. He gets in my tree stand, whatever, trips over the fence, falls down, hurts himself. I get sued because I am a leasee of the property, and the owner of the property also gets sued. And the person who got hurt, albeit they were trespassing, wins in every single court case, every single time. And that just blows my mind. I can be covered by insurance. And the guy who does the trespassing can not only sue the owner, but he sues me because I am considered, because I am leasing the property. I am associated with the property. So that's that. So the fact is, if you see a trespasser and you see him hurting, you know what to do. We'll leave it at that. Yes, and it is total BS. However, Matt, there are court cases, multiple ones over and over again, that a lawyer will show you that they will win every single time. So if you need some money, go do a little trespassing. You might have to break a leg, but you're going to get some money. So, but if you catch you trespassing and you got a broken leg, you better hope you can crawl fast. Faster than 3,000 feet per second anyways. Yep. Bye-bye. So that's that. Yeah, it is a very sad state that we live in, that that can happen, that the whole McDonald's and hot coffee thing and just whatever other kinds of lawsuits are. I don't keep track of them because I don't even think of I don't think of doing it to somebody, but you always have to be on your you got to watch your six, man. And because people will sue you over anything. But that's it. Anyhow, what else is there to talk about? Who are we going to blame? Do we blame? I don't know. Who are people blaming nowadays? Trump. I think everybody blames Trump. I don't think we blame Obama anymore. I don't know. But that's it. Crossbow quiet. Now you ain't got to worry about being quiet. You can. Nobody even turn an eye to a gunshot out here at all. Blame the weatherman and GM, Dorman. That's it. Yeah, we'll blame Dorman. Blame them for everything else. Where's my dog? Mrs. O took the dog home because I had to stay after and help out a friend. So, let's see. Blame Scotty Kilmer. Blame Jeeps. I seen that one coming. Yeah, Dorman sounds legit. So yeah, so that's kind of a piss pot with the whole legally posted thing. It's like, why even put up posted signs then? Oh my gosh. So do you want me to tell you guys a mistake that I made? Does anybody want to hear? Like, I had a heart-stopping, like, you just effed up mistake yesterday to be, as a matter of fact. It scared me. I was nervous and I thought it was the end of the world. I typically try not to make mistakes. So you want to hear about it? So here I am. I'm doing me some timing chains on a Chevrolet with a big 2.4 in it, 2014. I did, brought it in, checked it out, did, in-cylinder pressure test, made sure, yep, timing chain guides are broken, things slapping around, you can hear it smacking against the old pump cover. Whatever, pull the timing cover off. These things are piece of cake to do. Pull the valve cover off, boop, boop, pop on my new actuators, torque them down, put new guides in it, slap a chain on it, new oil squirter, pop the cover on, throw everything back together, got in it. My buddy's here. You don't even need it. His name's Andy. So Andy's here. He's standing here. He's talking to me the whole time. I was like, all right, Andy, moment of truth. Let's see if it runs. I'm trying to get out of here because I got a training class to go to. And I reach in and hit the key, and it's like, boom, starts right up. And then it makes the most horrific noise I've ever heard. It's going, bang, 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 boom, 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 pop, boom, boom, boom. So I like shut it off, and I'm like instantly sweat. I'm like, what in the thunder was that? Freaking blue smoke. And I'm like, what happened? I'm like, that's it. I just killed it, just crashed the motor. And I triple check, double check. As a matter of fact, I always take pictures. So I'm 100% positive that my timing marks are dead on. Made 100% sure the time and tensioner was released. I can't tell you how that went again, El Cheapo. Just know it was bad. And then I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I didn't want to start it again because I thought I crashed the motor. And I knew it was going to get real expensive real quick. So I was like, I have to double check my timing marks, but there's no external marks on it. And I was like, there's no way it jumped timing. Absolutely no way. And it's not a GDI engine, so it did not have the double marks on the crank. So I wasn't worried about that. Long story short, I was like, well, I'm going to pull the valve cover. So I zippy zap the valve cover off, takes a couple seconds. Valve cover's off, coils are out. I'm like, I'm going to pull the spark plugs out. I'm going to sit here and wind this engine over until I get all my timing marks lined back up with my chain and everything. So here comes the embarrassing part. You remember how I said I did an in-cylinder pressure test? And do you remember the part where I said I intentionally left the number one spark plug out of the cylinder head so I could do a test when I was done and get my known good waveforms? You don't remember me mentioning that? That's because I didn't. That's because the spark plug for the number one cylinder sat on my cart underneath the cardboard box. Yeah. And the coil sits so close to the cylinder head that it will actually ignite the charge in the cylinder without the spark plug in it. And it makes one hell of a noise. Just kind of future reference. I didn't want to tell you guys that. I was kind of wishing I had it on camera because it was pretty funny when it was done. But it'll make your butt pucker because it makes a pretty good pop and pretty good snap and lots of blue smoke and was pretty epic. And I was very thankful to know that, yes, my timing marks were dead on the money and the car runs absolutely perfect. However, it made my butt pucker a little bit because I thought I just went from making some good money on a time and chain job to spending about $4 grand for a new engine. So, yeah, so that's that. I wish I had it on video. It was something else. It was a little embarrassing because I had pulled the valve cover all the way off so I could start spinning it. So I got to take plugs out. I can go to stick my spark plug wrench down in the number one hole. I'm like, how come this spark plug socket ain't hooking on the spark plug? Because there ain't no freaking spark plug in it, you dummy. I couldn't believe it. My buddy Andy, he's not a mechanic, but he thought it was pretty dang funny. So that's that. That's my screw up for the week. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe I did that. I can't believe I just told 2,257 people what I did, but I did it. And I can't believe that the coil would jump a spark. Well, it sat very close to the head, but I can't believe that it would ignite it. And it sounded pretty neat when it does. Well, neat now, but I tell you what, you would have swore that piston was smacking them valves right back into the head. Yep. It is much better than bent valves. I'll tell you that. Because it was a matter of just installing a spark plug. And I was like, purrs like a kitten. Yeah, no, critic, that is not everything that I said. There was some little bit of colorful language, but you know what? I actually did stay pretty calm. My buddy Andy was here, and the fact is, if I screwed it up, if you get all pissed off and start throwing stuff, it doesn't matter. Like you gotta get it fixed. So just calm down. Yeah, I did pee a little, Jeff. I tell you what, man, I hit that key and pow! Fire in the hole, baby. Yeah, I would not be wanting to be sitting here and telling you the bent valve story. But yeah, and like I say, just for further reassurance, I don't know how many pictures of freaking timing chains I have on here, but you know, I always make it a habit to do this. Like, hey, I'll put it together. I take a picture of, you know, my cam gears, both cam gears, crank gear, just so I can have some confidence in myself. Be like, you know what? You did it right, you dummy. So, you know, there's the bottom set of chains. Focus. She doesn't want to focus, but you know, there's the bottom chains, you know, and I just make sure that I take pictures of the timing marks. So I'm like, yeah, okay, you're good. You're good, man. Calm down. You've only done it like 500 times. Breathe. But yeah, that's it. That's what I did. But the good news is, it's not going to be the last time I do something stupid. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, Eric, there was a little, you wanted to crap yourself because your butthole was pinched a little too tight sitting in that seat when you hit the key because you didn't know what was coming up under the hood. You didn't know whether to shut it off or duck. So, yep. So some of you are probably concerned why it is the last What's Up Wednesday. I mentioned earlier on in the video, you're going to have to rewind way back to the beginning. I give a brief explanation as to why. It is not the last one forever, so do not fear. It is just the last one for the spring/summertime. until fall. So yeah, after the fact, we did laugh about it. I thought it was pretty funny. And then, of course, that led into a whole bunch of stories from my buddy Andy, who's he drives dump truck and stuff like that. So he does, and he's a farmer. So he does work on stuff. And of course, I had horror stories about that and, different things like that. That's funny, Keith. You put a Marine starter in a regular Ford and spun the engine backwards. Wow, you're lucky they didn't fling a time chains off it. So I took a class yesterday on GM start-stop systems. It was a class put out by CTI, so CarQuest Training Institute. And I went there, and it's so sad. Like, I love going to those classes because the CTI classes are great. In a whole, they're great. Whole, W-H-O-L-E. Overall, very well presented, good material, usually case studies, stuff like that. So I went to this GM start-stop system class. So it's going to be like 2014 and newer GMs with the start-stop systems. And you go there, and there's that many people in the class, plus me, 3 people. And it's sad. Or maybe there was 4, but no more than 5. And I just feel bad for the trainer. So the guy who does it, John, he's a good fella, and does a great job, really well, good at presenting material. He's a mechanic, he works on cars, he does advanced level diagnostics. So, he knows what he's doing, and it's good, that it's not just PowerPoint to death. You can actually talk about things, discuss things, and he knows what the heck you're talking about. But it's just sick because it's in Corning or near Big Flat. So, city-ish for around here, Corning Glass. You guys are familiar with that. And it's at the community college where they have the automotive, division, the Corning community, where the kids go for automotive college. And they're between here and there. So it takes me 45 minutes to drive there. There's 100 freaking shops. And, I drive 45 minutes, but if, you take that radius, let's say a 50-mile or 100-mile circle around this thing, and to have only just a couple people show up every single time, like every class I go there, I don't think there's been an attendance of more than maybe 6 or 7. It's disgusting. These shops they're gonna fail, and they're not keeping up with it. And even the one boy that I was talking to that was there, he comes from a big chain shop, private, family owned, 13 stores, big shops. And none of the other guys want to come because, it's just stupid. They don't need to know it. So I don't know. I don't know why people won't go out and get training, but it just it bothers me a little bit. But we've had 2 shops that were nearby here that have closed. So I'm getting quite a bit of overflow work from them. And they were both good shops, both really good shops. So they have good customers, and the one guy there, he's kind of like semi-retired, so he sends me his good customers, which has been great. And then the other guy, he just like closed up, moved to Alaska. So, yep. So did I learn something new? I did, Justin. There is a lot of neat stuff on the GM start-stop systems. It's mostly, how do I want to say, computer algorithm, like what disables the start-stop feature from functioning, how the start-stop features work, what modules control them. GM has used 3 different types of systems. They use currently a DC to DC converter. They've used high capacity capacitors in the Cadillacs for a few years, and they use a dual battery system, so a battery under the hood, a battery in the trunk, with a dual battery isolation module, which is not on the LIN bus or the CAN bus, so you can't talk to it. So it's kind of its own little independent deal. And so I did learn quite a bit from it. And I don't know how often these things break, but I do see them coming into the shop, and it's also good to know it just for even customer education purposes. Let's say a customer bought this car used from Jabroni's used car sales. He don't know crap about it. The customer don't know crap about it. They're not going to read the owner's manual because nobody does that. So let's say they bought this thing in the winter. They've never met the criteria for the start-stop system to engage, for the engine to actually stop because they've had the defroster on, or whatever the circumstance may be. And then all of a sudden it's, springtime, they're driving, climate controls off, they pull up to a stop sign, and all of a sudden, the engine stops. Now they're like, oh, what happened? So I don't know. It's more just, head knowledge, knowing how the system works and the different types of systems and how to test them and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Rob writes about so many variables go wrong. There are at least 50 things that'll inhibit it from stopping the engine. Everything from, weak batteries to climate control input, brake input, steering angle input. The list goes on and on and on. So, is my other brother still doing tires? Yep, my brother's guy still does tires every day, and Doug's, doing his own thing down there. So, yeah. So the start stop, Wyatt mentioned about getting one in Germany. Over across the pond, the start stop is, that's super common. It's, of course, now it's just starting to come in UPS. It's starting to come into the UPS or the USA because, the manufacturers want to meet their CAFE regulations and all that stuff. So it's all emissions, mumbo jumbo. And the ones that they get CAFE credits on are, you cannot disable the system. They don't have, the on off button for it. So, just kick the AC on or leave the defroster on. It'll never shut off. Or, when you're sitting at a stop sign, just wiggle your steering wheel. It won't shut off. So, yep. Or if the hood's open, it won't shut off. What's up, homie? Yeah, so Justin Fitzgerald says, disable, unplug the hood sensor. So what GM does is to combat, ding-dongs that want to do that. Not that you're a ding-dong, Justin, but, they recognize the problem. So they use a multiplexing hood switch. So you have, like 3 resistors in the hood switch. So when it's, and it has 2 voltage lines going to it to ground, one's going to take this path, the other one takes this path. This one's, this line goes to the BCM, this one goes to the PCM, and it's a redundant system. So it's not, open, close, unplug it, it's open circuit, plug it in, it's closed circuit. It's not like that. It actually, there's resistors in the body module and in the ECM, and it drops voltage across those and then across the resistors in the hood switch. Like I say, it's multiplexed. So depending on what position it is, which voltage is on which line, and then, it's just built-in redundancy. So by unplugging that, it is what would they consider a class 3 or a C. It's a C type code. So it's going to set a code in the ECM. It will not turn on the engine light. However, you will lose your ability of anti-theft. So let's say you unplug your hood switch. Now you go to hit your door lock. You're like, beep, beep, but you're not going to get any beep, beep because it thinks the hood's open. You potentially could have your hood ajar light up on your dash, continually being lit. You could have, parasitic draw because, BCM might not go to sleep because the hood's open. Module might not shut down. So there are potential problems that come with, trying to bypass the hood switch. They're not just normal on-off switches. You won't have any remote start. There's a host of problems. So, consider that before you just unhook it. Yeah. Oh yeah, no remote start. Oh yeah, so Keith just put there no remote start too. So, yeah. So there's a lot of things, but yeah, if you're at the stop sign on a General Motors and you don't want it shut off, just put it in neutral. Kick it neutral, let off the brake, step on the brake, turn your steering wheel, kick the AC on. There's a ton of things. It's very specific as to when it will shut off. So, which is rarely. Yeah. What do I think of Royal Purple Oil? I don't think anything about it, Daniel, but I do go over to the Project Farm Project Farm. Who is it? The guy there who does all the testing on the different oils with the bearing lubricity tests and the cold and the heat. He's got some neat videos. Pretty impressed to see the new Amazon Basic Oil is, made by Warren Industries. So the same company that makes SuperTech oil, seeing how they're holding up against Royal Purple and AMSOIL and all the other ones he's testing them against. It's kind of neat. Yeah, Project Farm. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Yep, neat guy. Yeah, I think I've seen you comment over there, Schmitty. Yeah, Amazon Basics oil. Yeah, yeah, it's actually getting some good, good reviews. So, let's see. Is Josh coming back for the summer? Josh is actually coming back for the good, or at least until he quits or I fire him, one or the other. So he'll be done with college, and then he'll be back here working full time. And like full time, like I ain't gonna be able to send him home when it's slow. I'll have him as an actual, full time employee. So, yeah. So that's that. He'll be coming back. When does college let out here? What is this month? April, May. I think he gets out maybe the end of May. So Josh will be back here at the end of May, full time, every day until he gets a woman, and then moves away. I think that's what happens. And so he'll be here full time, and Miss Marie will be here 3 days a week until she moves. So that's that. So we have a couple employees. Miss Marie, I don't know what days, 3 days a week, anyways, doing stuff, and then of course Mr. Josh will be here over on this side, rattling away with his impact pretty much every time I make a video. Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to having him back. Disappointed in his college and their methods of teaching and what they teach, and some questions that he has asked me that I feel that he should know as a second-year college student coming out with ASE certifications. And no, nothing against him. He's only as smart as what he's taught. And he's good in his class. He pays attention and does well and gets good grades. And he's, would be in like, the top 3 kids there. But extremely disappointed to see just some of the questions. And I don't want to discourage him by telling him that, like, I'm disappointed that you have to ask me that. I'm not disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in their trade school and what they teach and some of the methods they teach him. It's sickening to know that he does not know circuit design any better now than when he went in. Circuit design, circuit testing. It's just, he knows how to ohm test. Whoop-de-doo. Has learned some stuff that I think is worthless. But anyhow, he now has some foundational skills underneath him, and I'm hoping to be able to build upon those if he has a willingness to learn. I will not force him to learn. However, if he wants to, I'd be more than willing to teach him. So I just hope he has the drive. You need to have the drive to do this day in and day out. And that's what I'm really hoping to see. And I don't know if that's something that has to be instilled into somebody, because I feel that I've always had it, like the wanting to know. Let's say, you're proposed with a problem, and it's, well, here's this car. It's like, well, I want to know how that works, and I'll do whatever I have to do to figure it out. I'll do some research and just I want to know how it works so I know how to fix it. And I hope to see that from him without having to kind of spur that along. I just hope that someday he comes up, he's like, can you help me figure out how this works? Absolutely, I'd love to. So that's that. That's where I'm at. But yeah, I'm not going to say the name of his college, but it's a well-known trade school in our area. It's actually been in, I don't know if it was in Motor Age or Motor Magazine, is one of the top 5 trade schools in the automotive. Clearly, they have paid for that promotion or for that little bit of prop they had in, a very popular trade magazine, because it's awful. I would say it's an awful school overall, in my opinion, based on what I think he should know coming out versus what, he does know. And to hear some of the stuff that the teachers have told him, just kind of a take it or leave it. They're like, no, we use flow charts. That's it. I'm an old GM tech. That's what one teacher's telling him, like, I'm just this retired GM tech. We use flow charts. You're kind of on your own, guys. I'm like, what? And he's paid for this. He had to pay for college. It's a scam. But no, it was a 2-year school, grammar hero. So, yeah. It's sad, and some of the curriculum they have is so old and so outdated. It shouldn't even be being taught. Uh, and unfortunately, they give these kids a sense of false hope. They tell them like, because they have these career fairs and these job fairs, and here's these dealerships from BMW and Mercedes and this and that. Like, oh yeah, we're going to sign you on at $30 an hour. Starting out of the gate, you're going to be lead tech and shop foreman. Hell, you're going to own the place in a year. And they really build these kids up to, that's what they think. They put them high on a pedestal, and you're coming out. You got your ASEs. They kind of shy them away from independence. They don't want to work for independence. They want them to go straight into dealerships, and I think that is so their shitty teaching doesn't get revealed, because they go into an independent and find out like, I don't know crap. Whereas if they go into a dealership, of course they're going to be a bottom feeder. Barely above minimum wage. They're going to be, changing oil, tires, stuff like that, PDI stuff, pre-delivery inspections. And then if they're good enough, they're going to advance. The dealership is going to train them. And then, they're going to build on those skills. So, I think it kind of covers up, poor teaching, in my opinion, because the dealership is going to handle it from that point. They're going to send their guy out to get training, in that specific, line. And, within however many years it takes, there'll be a GM master tech or whatever, whatever they call themselves. So that's what I think. That's my opinion on it. And that is why I have never put a lot of stock personally in automotive trade schools, because working in an independent shop and having worked with several guys fresh out of trade school, it just seemed to me like, man, I'm never going to go to this. I'm never going to go to college at all, because these guys don't know anything. It was pretty bad. So anyhow, that's just my thought. And I'm sure there are some great guys that come out of trade school. I'm only talking about very isolated, particular area of upstate New York and the folks that we see come out of it. So that's that. So don't ride me too hard about that. So it's hard to beat hands-on, and the want to. You got to have the desire. I think if you have the desire, you have the basic skills, you can adapt and evolve at a relatively fast pace. There's a lot of stuff available to us in the automotive aftermarket as far as training and knowledge and, moving on. Yeah, and it's cheaper. So let's see. Yeah, and boy I was talking to yesterday after our training class, telling me about other guys in the shop, and the fact that, he's in this big shop, huge shop, it's like, 150 foot long, 80 by 150, big shop, lots of bays, lots of turnaround. And he had to buy his own scope, and he has to have his own scan tool. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, like if he needs like especially something, you'd have to buy it. They don't do any flash programming, because they told him if they does, then the technician has to pay for it. You want a J box? Well, you got to pay for it. I'm like, you're telling me that you have to pay for an OEM subscription to flash a customer's car that they're going to charge the customer? Like, it was just really stupid. I'm like, I think it's time for you to find a new job. Yep. Anyhow. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a scam, but what do I know? I never went to college, so I can't really say much other than what I've said. So, or what I've seen, I guess. So until I go to college myself, which, I never will, but yeah, that's right, Keith. Yeah, you're paying for it, but you're also getting paid for it. Same way with me. Yeah, I have to pay for all my OEM subscriptions. Yeah, I want to, flash somebody's GM. Yeah, I got to, pay my money for the, for that VIN number, and, away I go. I want to flash your Ford. I pay my money, but, I also get paid for it too. So I would never expect Josh to buy his own scan tool or buy whatever it was he needed. Anything beyond his basic hand tools, the shop pays for. That's a shop tool. No, that's where you're wrong, Keith. If you have an LLC, you are an employee. I'm an employee of Selfmade. Selfmade Auto employs me. Let's see. What's icy? I got a big green thing here. So I work at Discount Tire. Do you have an issue with the back beads not breaking on Toyota Steelies? Yeah. And it must be a new guy at the tire shop. Yes. So you will find that the Toyotas and Chrysler products that have a big drop center on the wheel, the inner bead does break hard. My advice to you would be is use your tire machine, push the inner bead in, take your Rue Glide or your tire lube, whatever it is, take your tire machine, have the inner bead still held in, lube it up while it's on the tire machine, spin your wheel 180, pushing the other side of the bead, lube it up really good in that kind of motion, throw her up on the rim clamp, change it. Trust me, you'll thank me. Let's see what we got. What we got here? I'm trying to miss him. Will I be taking him to the aftermarket training? That's a good question. Bolts and drop diagnostics. If he has interest, yes, I have no problem paying for his training. However, I will not invest that money if I do not see the interest and the want and the desire. I don't, like I say, I mentioned, I don't believe that I can instill that into somebody. I can be hopeful and hopefully, teach them the benefits of it. You can move on from doing brake lines if you want to start using your noodle. But yeah, so yes, I have no problem paying for his training whatsoever. Yeah, so try lubing it again. Lubing it as you're pushing it in with the tire machine. It will usually help you a lot. What's my favorite car to work on? A broken one. Yeah, your arthritis would act up in New York. Yeah, it does, man. Some days are bad. If it gets below 50, on my little digits, they hurt. They start to get sore, but why did I choose to be a Napa Auto Care Center over a TechNet? That's a good question, Mark. So the TechNet program and the Napa Auto Care program were very, very similar at the time, which I signed up. Now I know TechNet has changed, and I was going to look into their program because evidently I think they have some type of co-op, insurance they have going on for, health insurance. Let's see. I did it. I remember why I did it, because we were getting the Napa Trax program. So it's our invoicing software that we use is Napa Trax. And they had a deal at the moment because I think it costs $600 to be the Auto Care Center. And they had a deal. It was a deal at the time with, paying for your Napa Trax. It was very inexpensive to become an Auto Care Center again, which gives you other benefits associated with that besides the quarterly kickbacks. It gives me a discount on Mitchell On Demand. It gives me a discount on Identifix. So yeah, that was why I became an Auto Care Center. So for some of the other discounts and benefits that you get with it, also the fact of the aftermarket warranty that I offer to my customers, 24-month, 24,000 mile parts and labor warranty on Napa parts that are installed. Not a sponsor, but I'd like to be able to extend that. I think Napa calls it their peace of mind warranty. So, yeah. So Jay Young says his, where'd it go? The local Napa parts dealer said his business went up 50%. Dang it all the heck. When the local mechanic shop turned to a Napa Center. So, yeah. So I am the number 2. Sometimes the number 1, depends on the month, in sales at our local Napa. And I don't buy exclusively there, but a high percentage of my stuff comes from Napa. Where are we at here? What time is it? Oh my good gosh, it's 9:35. I haven't even had my ice cream yet, and the ice cream store is closed. Thanks, people. That's all right, because I've got my emergency stash at home. Just opened it yesterday, matter of fact. well, it wasn't yesterday. It was actually this morning. About 1 o'clock this morning. Had me a little ice cream right before bed. What did he say? Something about 10,000 mile oil change. Thoughts on newer recommended oil change intervals? Do you recommend 10,000 miles on synthetic oil change? I recommend that to all my customers, David, because I love changing time and chains and turbos and engines. So yes, if you are, no, the answer is no. I would never, ever, ever in a million years run 10,000 miles on a service. Now, this is about like saying, this is like the worst topic you could ever bring up. So thank you for bringing up the worst topic ever. I don't go above 5,000. We have discussed this multiple times on this channel. I would never do extended oil change intervals. I've never seen so many engine mechanical failures as we do nowadays with extended oil change intervals. You know, up until recently when this has started and it's the whole big deal, like, oh, you never have to change your oil, buy our car. You know, you're getting cars coming in well within warranty period. Time and change are smoke, cam phasers are shot, turbos are junk. And it's all because they just don't change the damn oil. That's it. It all comes down to service. And that's the way it is. Oil is dirt cheap. Amazon basic oil, what's it cost for the gallon? 24 bucks. You know, so yeah, 5,000. Just go 5,000 miles. Do a spill and fill. I don't care what the oil life monitor says, what the OEM says. It's better to be premature, at least in this case. So yeah, I would never do 10,000. That's ridiculous. So, you know, seeing trucks come in with, you know, cam crank correlation codes with 60,000 miles on them, 40,000 miles on them. You know, it's had the oil change 4 times, 3 times. It's like, get real, you know, take it apart and it just, you know, the whole inside of it's like, you know, brown as the bottom of your shoe. It looks awful. You know, you drain the oil out of them. You know, these GDIs, you drain the oil out of them and it just stinks. You know, just the gas vapors alone coming off the oil just burn your eyes. You know, it's bad. So no, just change your oil. I would never, ever do that. So that's it. Cheap insurance. Yeah, super duper cheap. And changing oil is fun. Yeah, so Keith brings up a good point. Yeah, use oil that meets OEM validation for your engine, not meets the requirements of. That means nothing. That is true. So you're going to look for the, you know, the oil spec on a container, whether it's, you know, SN or SN plus. You know, don't just, you know, change your oil with like, you know, whatever, you know, Wing Dong oil from the Dollar General. You know, you got to look at the API cert on it. You know, see what API rating your vehicle calls for, or the ISLAC European spec. Can't think right now. But yes, make sure the oil is specified for your vehicle. You know, is it Dexos? Is it, you know, whatever? Fill in the blanks. It's getting too late. And if you don't know, the easiest thing to do is, you know, call the oil manufacturer. Let's say you like Valvoline, for example. Like, I'm a Valvoline guy. I'm a Chevy guy. I don't know why, but I am. You know, you want to be a Valvoline guy. And you want to make darn sure that your Chevrolet has the right oil in it, or your Volkswagen, or whatever it is that you're driving. You call up Valvoline, 1-800-TEAM-VAL, extension 5, and say, Buck, if that's the guy's name, Buck, answers the phone. I've got this 2016 Chevy. What coolant do I run in it? And he'll tell you what one of their products is, you know, is specified for that vehicle. And they will also tell you if they don't make a product that covers that vehicle. They will tell you straight up, I'm sorry, we do not have a product that covers the, you know, SN plus spec for that vehicle. We're sorry. So, and almost all the manufacturers have a tech support line that you can call and ask them specifically what is the exact oil that belongs in that vehicle. So, you know, take advantage of that. Don't listen to the forums and stuff like that. Meemaw used to say, get it from the horse's mouth, not the horse's ass. So that's what I would say. If you want to know, call the OE, you know, call the manufacturer, call the, oil manufacturer. 'Cause, you know, the manufacturer. Call the, you know, oil manufacturer. Call the, you know, oil manufacturer. Call the, you know, manufacturer. Call the, you know, oil 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 manufacturer. So that's my 2 cents on that. This Lambo requires olive oil. All right, good night, Rob. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Yeah, and I think also calling, oil manufacturers, they will be able to answer questions, perhaps as far as, going up in grades. Let's say, your vehicle was, only running conventional, and you're questioning whether, can I put synthetic in it? Can I do this? Can I do that? These guys are going to have the nitty gritty on it. And I would check with a couple of different manufacturers. I'd call Pennzoil, call Mobile, call Valvoline, talk to their professionals that this is all they do. This is what they know, love, and breathe. Ask them their opinions on it. So is Hannah coming back? She is not. Hannah officially has her job, her full-time nursing RN job. She is a nurse and will be saving people's lives, hopefully. And that's it. So she's going to be finished up with college, and she already has her job and has already had an interview and got the job, and boom, done. And she's making a pretty good coin for being fresh out of school and not even 21 years old yet. Just amazing what the girl has done. She's done extremely well, to go out of school and come out of school with, no debt and have full-time work before school is even over and almost a guaranteed job for the rest of her life. So it is really great. So pay attention when you're in school. Yep. And then she's going to go, I think her plan is to work for a year, and then she's going to go back, because I believe when it's all said and done, I think she has to have her master's degree because she wants to be a nurse practitioner. Whatever, one step below a doctor is where she's going to end. So, but yeah, she's a smart kid. So, yep. So yeah, so my assistant will not be Hannah. It'll be Miss Marie. You guys have seen her in the other video. She'll be here 3 days a week, which we're looking forward to that. Bo show. Need my assistant. Take care of my tools. Sweeping the floor. Making wisecracks in the video. What's up, Jimbo? How's that for you, Jimmy? NP, see, I don't know all the acronyms. I know because she's like coming in like, yeah, I'm an RN, elemental P, CNA, such and such. I'm like, yeah, what's that mean? Are you still wiping butts or are you giving shots? I don't, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I told Hannah, if I was a nurse, a lot of you're going to die. All right. I'm going to like, you crap your pants, you're just going to have to die, because I don't do that. So thankfully, there are people like Hannah out there that are willing to do that, to take care of us, and stuff like that in the hospitals. Nursing, it's like automotive technology. You got to have a calling for that. Let me tell you what. Some of the stuff she tells me about, I'm like, nope, they would have died. Bottom line. Yep, nurses are like angels. Ain't that the truth? They gotta be. I mean, the crap they put up with, and she tells me, because right now she works part-time at the hospital and has to work in the ER. Of course, around here you get all these meth addicts that are coming in, and you're Narcaning them all the time. I don't know if they're Narcan like this or whether I think it's up the nose. They're Narcaning them because they come in, they're all shut down, and so that's like the big thing. You got the whole ER, it's full of people all cracked out on methamphetamines, and they're Narcaning them to keep them alive and giving them clean needles and sending them out the door. It's like, it's crazy. Yep, weird stuff. Weird world we live in, I'll tell you that. What we got? Let's see. Yep, and she can fix the ambulance. That's true. Narcan inhaler. Yep. Yeah, but yeah, some of the stories she tells me is like, it's just nuts. But that's why she does not want to work in the ER department, because she just, she's been in there enough, seen it like, no, that's not her calling, I guess. Yeah, she can save patients and their rides. So yeah, evidently when she was getting her interview, of course, my name was on the her diploma, her application or whatever, reference and stuff, previous employment, I guess it would be. And the lady that was hiring her was like really excited about it, that she could actually physically like work with her hands and, new mechanical type things. And, because there's stuff around the hospital that, needs fixing, I guess, or, well, I don't know. But it was a very positive point for her hiring, that the hiring nurse or director of nurses or whoever it is that does the hiring, saw that and was, pretty excited about that. So, where are we at here? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's for opiates. So, yeah, it's probably not methamphetamines, I guess. I don't know. Is that an opiate? I don't know. I don't keep track of it. I don't know which drug's which. When I was in school, it was like you smoke some pot. Now it's like, I don't even know if anybody even smokes pot anymore. I have no idea. There's too many weird drugs out there now. Yeah. And I think she's even required to carry Narcan because she's a nurse, has to have it on her or something like that. But oh, okay. So Blazer was EMT after 25 years. Volunteers couldn't take it. Yeah. I don't know, Blazer. It's weird. There's one county over. I think it's Schuyler County. So we're in Subban. I think it's Schuyler County. They actually declared state of emergency for the amount of overdoses they're having now with opiates. State of emergency, not because of weather or the bridge fell down or tornado, but because of the freaking opiate problems that's there. And this is rural, New York here, man. So, but it's so bad that yeah, they had to cover. I believe it was. Yeah, you guys have to Google it. It was pretty recently. It was on the news. I was like, really? So, and I think I don't know if it's because the cops are getting called out, because the cops are required to like bring these people back to life and stuff. So yeah, so maybe it's because they're out on so many calls or something. I'm not sure. I don't know what it takes to require a state of emergency. All I know is if, never mind, I ain't gonna say it. Yep. Oh, it's becoming a massive problem over across the pond too. Oh, no kidding. All I know is they get Narcan for free, but I got to buy my freaking EpiPen every year in case I get stung by a bee, and nobody will come save my ass for free. So, yeah, I just say remove all the warning labels off everything and let natural selection kind of work its course a little bit. Yeah. Anyhow. No, Dave, I don't know if that would actually work. Letting people die and other people will realize it. I don't think so. I think that the drug addiction is so bad that even if people are dropping dead, I don't think that would make anybody not want to do it or whatever. Yeah, but anyhow, yeah, just remove the warning labels. Take them off everything. See, let the problem sort itself out. Let's see. Yeah, the EpiPen's super expensive, and you have to throw it away every year. I'm not gonna lie, I keep mine for 2 years because I shouldn't say I'm, cheap, but they're expensive. Just for that one moment, anaphylactic shock. Damn bees. Anyhow, folks, I think that's it. We're going to wrap this up. It is 9:50. It is the latest SMA with W.U.W we've ever had. And we'll see you guys in the fall. I don't know when. We'll probably see you in between. Like I say, crappy weather, something like that, late night, random act of kindness, I'll bust out a What's Up Wednesday. Maybe on a Thursday or Tuesday or Monday, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. You'll never know when it's coming. It's been fun. We've had some good times. Some of the What's Up Wednesdays have been quite comical. You never know where the conversations are going to go on What's Up Wednesday. Very rarely are they car related. To some degree, some of it is. The mail calls have always been great, so I do appreciate that. I do appreciate you guys sticking around, checking out the chit chat over here and hanging out and keeping it relatively clean. I've been seeing a little bit of banning going on over there. You got the blue renters. You guys are doing a great job snubbing people out that are saying nasty things. And the fun part is that most of the stuff that they block, you guys never even see because it comes up on our end. And anyhow, that's how the system works. It works good. So thanks to all my blue renters out there who take their time, come out, banning people for doing what they do, deleting them, putting them in timeout, being a babysitter. And so we thank you guys for coming over and watching the SMA channel and just hanging out, because that's all we do, hang out. So I'm going to get heading home, fill up the coal stove, and take a little nap and come do it again tomorrow. So make sure you go down there, you subscribe, you ring the bell, you do all this stuff. I don't know what I have for videos coming down the pipeline. I don't think anything. I've been slacking. I've been living on my reserve, and I believe that my reserve has run out. So I'm going to have to get some videos around for you. So hopefully we'll get the one on the Ranger. We'll get that coming out. And I don't know what's coming in the next couple days. I'm sure we'll dig up something for you, get you some videos out there. In the meantime, stick around, do everything you do. Thanks for being great. Thanks for watching.